Forms are one of the 4 objects in Access. They have 2 advantages. First, they allow users to look at one record at a time. Second, users can easily enter data into the table. There are many kinds of forms such as data entry forms, option group forms, navigation forms, adding button forms, and inserting various kinds of objects in the form. First, we'll look at navigation forms. Navigation form is a welcome replacement from Switchboard. When you are creating a database for others to use, or you're using SharePoint functionality, navigation forms make it easy to move from one report and/or form to another. This functionality is not for tables and queries. So now let's look at an example to better understand navigation forms. Let's say I want the user to be able to access my forms and reports very easily. And I have these bunch of forms and these bunch of reports with me, but I want to show only certain forms and reports to the user. So I can make use of navigation form. This is what you call a navigation form. I have the customer order form. I can just click on customer order form and that appears here. If I click on sales rep and customers, it'll appear here. So let's see how we can create this. I'm just going to close this. Now let's go to the Create tab, and under Forms there's something called Navigation. Click on that drop down. You'll see various kinds of formats are available, such as horizontal tabs. So let's say I'm just simply going to click on horizontal tabs left. A form will open for you. So all you need to really do is drag the forms which you would like the user to see, or drag the reports which you would like the user to access. So I'm simply going to go to my Forms menu and I'm going to drag customers from it and drop it right here where it says Add New. And here I have customers form. Similarly, I'm just going to drag my navigation form and drop it at Add New. And then let's say I'm just going to go down and click on Orders Report, and I'm going to drag it and drop it at Add New. So I have these available here. Now let's say you want to be able to change the format and the color of this entire layout. So I'm going to go to the Design tab. Under Themes, there's something called Themes drop down. So I'm simply going to click on it, and various themes are available here. So if I click on that, it's going to change its color. Similarly, if I want to change it to that, let me just close this field list. And so this is how you can change the color of the entire form. Let's say you want to be able to change the color of particular options available in the form. So I'm simply going to go to the Format tab, and under Control Formatting there's something called Quick Styles. I'm going to click on that, and I'm simply going to just select something from here. Say I want a black and white, so I can click on that. Again, I can choose the same color, or I can press Shift and do that as well. So let me just drag this here. Okay, it's automatically picking color from there. If I want to change the shape, I can do that as well by simply clicking on this. And if I press Shift, and then I can automatically change the color of all the options available at a go. Now let me just go to the Home tab, and under View I'm going to click on Form View. And once I do that, this is what it is going to look like. So I can just see. And here you go. The entire theme has changed, and you have a navigation form inside a navigation form, which is fine if that works for you. Data entry forms. Using a form to enter and modify data is much more attractive than simply using the table to enter data. Data entry form is automatically created by Access once the user selects the table and clicks on Form Design. In addition, if there are any subtables or subdata sheets attached to the table, Access automatically inserts that table in the form. For example, if customers table is linked to orders table, Access will automatically create an orders subtable in the customers form. Any changes made to the data in the form and/or subtable will be reflected in the tables. The opposite is also true. You can also navigate from one record to another easily using the form. Records can be added as well using the form. Now let's say we want to create data entry forms. Go to the table menu and click on a table there for which you would like to create a form. And then go to the Create tab. Under Forms, there's something called Form. Various options are there, so just go ahead and click on the first option, Form. And look what it has done for you. It has automatically created a form out of the table customers. So I'm just going to close the sheet for a while. And here you have the relevant subtable attached to it as well. Because if you open the customers table, you'll notice that there's a subsheet in customers table, which consists of order ID and other order details of that particular customer. So now we're going to go back to the customers form, and each customer will have relevant order details at the bottom of the form. Now let's say we want to be able to make changes to customer details. How can we do that? Go ahead and click on this view again, and you will reach the layout view. Once you do that, you can go ahead and make changes to customer details. Let's say I want to be able to remove all kinds of taste 1. I want to be able to remove just this number 1 from here. So I'm simply going to delete it, and it'll be reflected in the table. And if you would like to add orders from here, you can do that as well on that. Now let's say I want to be able to create a new customer from this table, so I can do that as well. I'm simply going to go to this particular icon which says new blank record. So I'm simply going to click on that, and this is where I can create a new customer. So I can type in the details of the customer and so on and so forth. If there are any order IDs attached to the customer, I can do that from here as well. I can navigate through the records as well from the sheet. If I click on this icon, I'm going to reach the first customer, and I can just navigate through by clicking on this arrow. If I want to reach the last customer, I can click on this last record. And it'll take me to that customer. So this is how we can make data entry more creative, and this is better than entering details in a simple table because it's more interesting and it's easier to understand. Ensure that when you close it, you need to save the changes. Now let's say you want to be able to view the table as well as the form in one view. Currently, let's say if we want to view the customers table, we'll have to go to this tab, and if we want to be able to view the form for customers table, we need to click to another tab. That's not so convenient. So what we're going to do here is click on the table for which you want to create this kind of form, then go to the Create tab, and under Forms, click on More Forms. And then there's something called Split Form. Click on that. As soon as you do that, you have created a form out of that table, as well as the table has appeared at the bottom. Let me just drag this up to show you. So this is what is known as split form. Split form has a single view data entry in the top portion of the form, which is here, and list of records below that. This is similar to the Excel split feature or arrange all feature. If the user clicks on any record in the table, the form will automatically contain the data for that particular record. So currently, this form contains data of the sales rep Jordan. Now if we go and click on Pearl, it'll automatically move to that sales rep's data. So we can see everything very clearly. Now let's just say in our sales rep form, we would like to add another category, which would simply tell us whether the employee has asked for leave or has not asked for leave. So there are two options, asked for leave, did not ask for leave. So let's see how we can insert this in the current form. Go to the Home tab and click on Design View. Once you do that, the form has turned into a Design View template. Go all the way to the bottom where it says Form Footer. Click on the Form Footer, and from the top, when this double line arrow appears, drag it down. All the way down. Yeah. And stop there. Now under Design tab, under Controls, click on this drop down. Once you do that, various kinds of form options are available, such as option buttons, radio buttons, tab controls. We're going to click on this particular option, which is called Option Group. Click on it, and then go to the place where you would like to insert this particular option. So basically, when we have specific choices of information that we would like to enter into a field, one way of making it easy is through the series of option buttons to push, which means that we are eliminating the other choices. This technique is called creating an option group. Just like in this case, we're going to create option buttons for leave, wherein employees would have the option of selecting whether they asked for leave or they did not ask for leave. So let's go ahead and type in this dialog box, request for leave, and in the next cell I'm going to type in not request for leave, and then I'm going to click next. Do I want a particular option to be a default choice? If yes, then I can click on this particular radio button, and then from this drop down I can choose the default option. So I'm going to keep it at not request for leave. If I do not want any default choice, then I can simply go ahead and click on no, I do not want a default choice. Then I'm going to click on next, and I want to assign values to these choices. So request for leave would be 1, not request for leave would be 0, not 2. And then again I'm going to click next. Do I want to save it to a particular field, or do I just want to save it and use it for later? So I'm going to let it be the first option. I'm going to click next. This is where you can specify the formatting. You can change it if you want it to appear in checkboxes or toggle buttons, or if you want it flat, raised, shadowed. I simply want it flat, and I want it to appear as option buttons. And I'm going to click next now and finish. Once I do that, notice it has appeared here, so I'm simply going to change the name by double clicking on this place where it says frame 100, and I'm going to change it to leave. Now I'm going to go back to my form view, and when I go at the bottom, look, this option group has appeared in the form. So if I click request for leave, it is going to update it with that. So it is going to automatically update the table based on the choices I'm making. Now let's say you want to be able to send an email to your customers after you know that your order status is complete, or rather in your orders table the status of the order has been marked as complete. So let's see how we can automate this process. Okay, so go to Create. Under Macros and Code, click on Macro. Once you do that, macro window would open. In that, a drop down with plus sign would appear. So go ahead and click on that drop down and click on If. In that if condition, type in the name of the table from which you would like to specify the condition. So in this case, it would be orders table. So either I can go ahead and start typing in order, so this particular drop down would appear to help you out. So I'm simply going to click on orders, and then I'm going to type in an exclamation mark, and then I'm going to type in order status. Before I do that, it has already appeared here, so I'm simply going to double click on this, and then an equal to sign, and in inverted commas I'm going to type in complete, close inverted comma. This specifies that it's a text. If the order status is complete, then we want to send an email. So click on this drop down where it says add new action and go to where it says email database object. Once you do that, bunch of dialog box would open. Go ahead and fill out these details. In the to field, type in an open bracket, then type in the name of the table from where the email address would be picked. So in this case, it would be picked from the customers table. Then close bracket and then an exclamation mark and then open bracket again and type in the name of the column or the field, which would be email address in this case, and close bracket. If you would like to CC somebody, you can do that as well. BCC, you can type in the subject, so I'm going to type in order complete, then message box. You can type in whatever message you would like to send to the customer. Hope you have. And then go ahead and close this macro and click yes because you want to save this macro and click OK. So now whenever an order is complete, it is going to send an email to that customer on the email address specified by the customer. Now this is the last topic for Microsoft Access in this video, and it is reports. So I'm just briefly going to introduce you to reports. These are various reports that have been created in Microsoft Access. So if you would like to create reports, how can you do that? Go ahead and click on the table for which you would like to create reports. Then go to the Create tab, and under Reports, go ahead and click on Report. Once you do that, Access automatically creates a report out of the data from the table. Now let's say you want to have only particular fields in your report. You don't want all the fields that are there in the table. So again, go ahead and click on the table and then go to the report wizard under the Create tab. Another window would open. You have the option of selecting any table, any query from which you would like to create a report, and then the available fields under those tables and queries. So I'm simply going to select these fields and I'm going to click Next. Once I do that, I have the option of grouping data based on how I would like it to be viewed, and I also have the option of prioritizing the data. Once that is done, then I'm going to click Next. I can also specify how I would like to view it based on ascending, descending, and in which order. And then I'm going to click Next. Now in this window you can specify the layout of the report. Let's say if I want it blocked or outlined or stepped, portrait or landscape. Click Next. And then click Finish. Once you do that, you have the report available. Go ahead and close the print preview and then go ahead and click the layout view. You also have the option of identifying themes for the report, formatting the report, changing colors, etc. So go to the Design tab once you're in layout view. Then under Themes, click on this drop down called Themes, and you can change the color. You can change the font. You can also insert logo, page numbers, date and time. You can insert various totals, sum, average, min, max, so on and so forth. You can also hide fields. You can unhide them. You can group and sort based on your convenience. So this is how easily you can create reports in Microsoft Access. Hope this was useful.
This video was brought to you by CXO Learning Academy, a premier learning initiative by CXO Math. For any queries, you can email us at learning@cxomap.com. Thank you.